And welcome back to the Hot Stage. We are talking Ott Tänak and his departure and the Golf, the massive hole, obese crater he's going to leave at Hyundai with his talent. And who will Hyundai choose for the replacement of the 2019 WRC champion? So this is what we got after Japan. Tänak departs. The 2019 champion will leave Hyundai and quit full-time rallying at the end of the 2025 season. However, Tänak himself, as we read out, did say this is not the end, etc. I might be back. Why did he quit? He said he wants to spend more time with his family. There are rumours that he was talking to Toyota, but they're pretty much full up now, especially with Oliver Solberg signing for them. But yeah, it almost reminds me of when Rosberg very suddenly left, although it was a lot later in the day, the Mercedes team in Formula One back in 2016 going into 2017. Obviously he's left them all a bit of time, and I do think there's a plethora of drivers that they can choose from, but he leaves a massive gulf to fill. And are those drivers that they could choose from good enough? Because he has been the team leader this year, not Neuville, when it comes to rallying. This is from Rally Journal on X. There's no shortage of drivers interested in Hyundai's WRC seat. It was a couple of days ago. And they're basically saying Hyundai's Estonian star, obviously they announced last week after Rally Japan that he's going to be going. Hyundai Sporting Director Wheatley said that the team have already considered candidate options. Okay, it's getting exciting, the predictions. According to Wheatley, Hyundai may opt for either, a more experienced driver or a younger one, or even a combination of the two. I guess maybe part-time, or have just two more drivers, along with Formo and Neuville, of course. So among the more seasons names, they're looking at Danny Sordo, Mikkelsen, Hayden Paddon, Chris Mecke. For me, either Mikkelsen or Hayden Paddon. I mean, Hayden Paddon, he won the ERC Championship last year. That is a hard championship to win. That has bags of talent as well. Some may even argue that it's harder to win the ERC Championship than the WRC Championship. I'm not saying that, but I know some may argue. Although it's been an eternity since the Northern Irishman competed in the category, and the same applies to Paddon. Okay. With some reservations, they're also throwing the Esa-Pekka Lappi. Out of them, he's the last Hyundai driver after Neuville and Tänak to win a rally championship all the way back in Sweden 2024. He could also be viewed as a Hyundai option, although the Finn has made it very clear he's no longer interested in competing in the WRC, at least not as a full-time driver. But of these drivers, Sordo and Mikkelsen appear the most realistic candidates. Oh, Paddon. Last season, Sordo showed how valuable a team player he can be, even in a part-time role as a third driver. This year, Sordo claimed the Portuguese Rally Championship. Well done, Sordo, by beating Chris Mecke for the crown. Surely that is going to be Sordo. But then we can't rule out Mikkelsen. Oh, it's so confusing. Mikkelsen's taken a break from the WRC this year, it says, but later in the autumn he has kept his pace up by competing in national rallies in Europe. And last season, Mikkelsen shared driving duties in Hyundai's third Rally 1 car with Sordo and Lappi. And two Finnish drivers have also been mentioned. Timu Sunonen, I probably got that wrong, had the chance to show his potential in Hyundai Rally 1 during the 23 season, so not that long ago, but despite expectations, he didn't secure that full-time WRC seat. And Sunonen has publicly stated that he is interested in a Hyundai seat. The same would apply for Emil Lindholm, who was part of Hyundai's WRC2 lineup alongside the other guy. This is the thing. There's so many Viking-esque names. Sunonen last season. Now, Rally 1 machinery is not entirely unfamiliar though to Lindholm either, which is going to be a good thing because it does. I mean, it does take time. Even changing teams takes a bit of time. I can't help but feel it took Formo, for example, moving from M Sport to Hyundai. It took him really, I think, in a half the season to get really familiar with that Hyundai. But competition for the season or potential threats is intense. For example, Martin Sesks. But I imagine M Sport, if their rumours are to be true, that Munster might be leaving, surely M Sport are going to do their best to get him. And Nikolai Grayson, another very talented guy. So if you're not going to get an experienced guy, I think Grayson would be absolutely brilliant. And it says locally, Grayson would be something of a risk for Hyundai, as his recruitment would come with certain complications due to his Russian background, even though he now competes under the Bulgarian flag. Another question is how much this will matter to Hyundai. Yeah, I mean, sadly, Cesc, on the other hand, represents a kind of young potential that could suit Hyundai. He still has a way to go before reaching the absolute top, but the Latvian is collecting experience and has started to gain a foothold in the category. In addition, Cec's clean-cut image would appeal to almost any team. He's got one thing about Cesc is he's got personality. Absolutely, he's contested in 6 rallies this year, and as we know, he's going to Abu Dhabi. M Sports driver, they're talking about Munster's reveal that he's been in contact with Hyundai. Munster is set to lose his funding for next year. So that leaves his WRC future uncertain. I don't think they'll take Munson. Johan Rosel is another one, a regular runner in the WRC too. Reportedly, the Frenchman has already agreed to continue with the Salantas group. So obviously we're talking Lancia and Rally 2. Rosel, Hyundai are expected to announce their plans next season before the season-ending Saudi Arabia. So basically within the next week. I imagine it's possible that Hyundai may select 2 drivers to share the third car. Nouveau will certainly continue, and Formo is also expected to remain. I mean, they're the list of drivers there. People they've talked about. But then this comes out. Has Hyundai chosen an experienced driver to replace Ott Tänak? And this is today. You may recognise it. That's Danny Sordo. Yeah, Tänak announced, as we know, to reveal they're expected to reveal it, I think, within the next week. And RallyJournal.com are saying they have heard from several sources that Hyundai may turn to Danny Sordo. The 42-year-old Spaniard has been a Hyundai driver since all the way back in 2014, which is 11 years ago. Oh my gosh, how old are we? Last year, Sordo shared driving duties with, as we know, Lappi and Mikkelsen. He didn't do too bad. He wasn't exactly setting the world alight. Lappi won a race, but as we know, Lappi said, no, I'm not going to come back. But it says if Sordo's Hyundai deal goes through, it would mean a second part-time driver would also be appointed. In principle, there are 5 rallies that could be on Sordo's schedule next year. They're talking Canary Islands, Portugal, Japan, Greece and Sardinia, Monte Carlo, Kenya and Saudi Arabia could also suit the Spaniard. And it's likely that Sordo would contest more than half the season. That would leave at least 7 rallies for the second driver. Several drivers have been linked to Hyundai in the speculation. Among the more experienced names, you've got Mikkelsen, Hayden Paddon, they're still saying. Yeah, but if Sordo's the favourite, that sucks. I think for them, obviously. I would like it. For me, I would choose Hayden Paddon. I'm just throwing it out there. I would. Anyway, who would you choose? Comment below. Let us know. Who would you choose? Who would you choose to put in Ott Tänak seat? I mean, I think whoever they choose is not going to be as fast as Ott Tänak, at least not straight away. But until then, give us a subscribe if you're not. Hit that notification button if you do not miss a video. We do rally videos nearly every day, unless it's a non-rally weekend. And then when I say non-rally, I mean next year, I know they're over now, we're looking at the BRC, we're looking at the WRC, and obviously ERC. But there we go. So, thank you very much. We'll speak to you soon, and stay safe.